They Shall Not Grow Old is a new documentary film about the First World War, directed by Academy Award winner Sir Peter Jackson. Using audio recorded in the 1960s and 70s, veterans of the Western Front recollect their wartime experiences.
You knew what was going on within your vision. Beyond that, you hadn't got a clue.
These stories are told over footage from the war, which has been painstakingly restored, colorised and converted into 3D by Jackson's team at Wingnut Films in New Zealand. Audio has been added in places, but the film develops entirely from the soldiers' perspective, in their own words. Their stories are told in an imaginative and startling way. The film flips from the patriotic fervour of veterans' accounts of their enlistment for war to the brutal and shocking realities of day-to-day life and death in the trenches. Some of these stories are told in a surprisingly matter-of-fact way.
You lived like tramps. You didn't polish any buttons. You wore any uniform bits that you liked and nobody worried. All they were concerned with was that you were fit to fight.
Peter Jackson and his team trawled through over 600 hours of audio and 100 hours of filmed footage provided by the Imperial War Museum's archive in order to construct the film. VFX wizardry smooths the movements of the images, removing any jerky pictures. It's a very, very unusual method of storytelling. That struck me straight away. It feels different to almost any war documentary I've seen in the past.
The brief that they gave me was, on the surface it was very simple and very wide open. It just said you can do anything you want, but we'd like you to use our archive film in a way that is unusual. So the first idea I had was, well, how I get them to send me some 2K scanned material, like 3 or 4 minutes, send it to me in New Zealand where we've got our big visual effects department. Because I thought, well, how well can we restore this film? And then that blew me away. We were able to restore it way better than I ever thought we could. It took us a while to figure out all the techniques because we were taking it way beyond what anyone's ever done with restoration before.
How did you ensure that the colorization process, the restoration process and the 3D didn't overwhelm the story, the stories that you were telling, but enhanced the stories that you were telling?
Well, I wanted it to simply be in colour because they saw it in colour. You know, we just think of the war as a black and white war. But it wasn't a black and white war to them. I mean, they didn't see it, black and white, so why should we show it in black and white? So I just thought, well, let's make it colour. And then in doing so, we also, the same as we did the restoration, we thought, well, this has got to be the best colorization that we've ever seen. What I found with colorization is, the longer you spend on it, the better it gets. See, that led to the next thing, because once you restore it, the thing that happens is that this film becomes about people, about human beings, about faces of these guys, and about the nuances, the humanity just comes out at you like a freight train.
They Shall Not Grow Old will be shown in full on the BBC, and it will also get an outing on the big screen as part of the London Film Festival. It's not the only work at the festival which provides a window into the past. The British Film Institute has been digitally restoring 120-year-old Victorian films. Unusually, these movies were shot on 68mm film, almost twice the size of conventional 35mm film stock.
It's a joy to restore these films because you're dealing with this large format picture with an enormous amount of detail in it. The only problem is it's so fragile, so you have to unroll it really carefully because otherwise the emulsion can peel off.
The films themselves are each only about a minute in duration, depicting events like a royal tea party at Clarence House. But while their runtime may be small, the size of the original film means it can be blown up and is going to be projected onto an IMAX screen as part of the festival, allowing us a little glimpse of the past on the biggest screen around.